A very good day to all of you. Today, let's talk about rules and regulations in sports and why they matter and how sports have changed over time. In the past, we know that people played sports mostly for fun and to show their strength. The early Olympic Games were created to help people stay fit, develop good character, and build a law-abiding society. But as time passed, sports evolved because of changes in politics, economics, and society. People's needs and expectations from sports also changed. So, to keep up with these changes, sports became more organized and new rules were introduced. And also to ensure fairness and proper management, many national and international sports organizations were also formed. And these organizations created rules and regulations to guide how sports should be played. So, in this lesson, we are going to learn why rules and regulations in sports are important and how the Olympic Games have changed over time, the issue of doping in sports, and the role of different people in organizing school sports events. So, have you ever wondered why sports have rules? Well, rules and regulations are important because they help keep sports fair, safe, and well organized. So these rules are usually created and enforced by national and international sports organizations. And these rules and regulations make sure that the games are played fairly and that the players follow the right guidelines and action is taken if someone breaks the rules. But there are traditional games which don't have official written rules. So instead of that, in traditional games, people follow unwritten rules that have been passed down through generations. And these games, they rely on trust, respect, and understanding between players. So whether they are written rules or unwritten rules like in traditional games, rules are what keep sports fun and fair for everyone. So let's keep learning the next parts of the lesson. If we think about the need for rules and regulations in sports, why do we need rules and regulations in sports? We can come up with many reasons. So under this lesson, we are going to learn about 6 or 7 reasons. So one is to maintain ethics in sports, then to maintain enthusiasm in sports, to maintain the dignity of sports, to develop personal values, to regulate games and minimize accidents, to protect the rights of the participants, to resolve problems related to sports. So these are some of the needs for why should we have rules and regulations in sports. And we'll be talking about each of these. In sports, ethics and sportsmanship play a crucial role in maintaining respect among participants. Following rules and regulations not only ensures fair competition, but also helps athletes develop discipline and social values. It is a common practice for players to greet each other, greet the judges and the audience at the beginning and end of a game. And regardless of the outcome, you might have seen how the opposing teams are expected to show mutual respect by shaking hands, exchanging words of appreciation, and acknowledging their officials, the judges. So these actions are important for good sportsmanship. And there's a well-known example of sportsmanship occurred at the 1936 Berlin Olympics during the men's long jump event. Jesse Owens from the US and Luz Long from Germany both recorded a jump of 7.87 meters by the fourth round. And then what happened was, instead of focusing solely on his own performance, Luz Long advised Jesse Owens on how to improve his approach. And as a result, Owens won the event with a final jump of 8.06 meters. And then following the competition, both athletes walked around the stadium together, demonstrating their true sportsmanship in front of 80,000 spectators. So this is one of the incidents which highlight that sports are not just about winning but also about respect, integrity, and supporting fellow competitors. Rules and regulations play a big role in keeping sports fair and exciting. So imagine there's a game without any rules. There would be a lot of confusion, unfair decisions, and there won't be a real competition. So that's why following the rules is so important. When all players follow the same rules, everyone gets a fair chance to compete, and this makes sure that the game stays fair from start to finish. And it also helps the audience to trust the competition and enjoy watching without questioning the results of the game. In the end, rules don't just keep the game organized, but also they allow the players to compete fairly and the fans to enjoy the game with confidence and everyone else to accept both victory and defeat with the right spirit. Rules and regulations are not just about organizing a game. They also help maintain the dignity of sports. When the same rules apply to all players, fairness is ensured, and every participant gets an equal chance to compete. That is basically the idea of having same rules. Everybody is having a same chance to compete and it's fair for all of them. So by following the rules, athletes uphold the principles of fair play and they ensure that the victory goes to the most deserving player or team. So this not only keeps the competition fair, but it also preserves the respect and integrity of the sport. So like we have been talking before, sports are not just about competition. On the other hand, they also help athletes develop important personal values. Players learn to accept both victory and defeat gracefully, to follow rules with discipline, and to show respect for their opponents. So a great example of this was seen during the 2012 Test match between Sri Lanka and New Zealand in Galle. So when Sri Lankan batsman Mahela Jayawardene was on 91 runs, the New Zealand wicketkeeper appealed for a catch. And then without waiting for the umpire's decision, Mahela chose to leave the field, demonstrating his strong sense of integrity and sportsmanship. This act of honesty and respect for the game earned him the ICC Spirit of Cricket Award in 2014, proving that true sportsmanship is just as valuable as winning. Sports means something which involve physical activity. So sometimes accidents can happen. And these injuries may occur due to the way a game is played or the type of equipment used. It depends. To minimize the risk, rules and regulations set safety standards, which ensure that players follow specific guidelines and use proper equipment. For example, in cricket, a fast bowler is not allowed to bowl a full toss above waist height because it can be dangerous for the batsman. And then when it comes to boxing, fighters must wear headgear and mouth guards to protect themselves from serious injuries. So those are rules of the game. These rules, they are in place to ensure players' safety and fair competition and to prevent unnecessary harm while maintaining the integrity of the sport. Rules and regulations are designed to protect the rights of athletes in sports. They ensure that every player has a fair chance to compete, receive justice, and stay safe during the game. These are rights of the athletes. So, in addition to maintaining fairness, rules also prevent cheating and game fixing, which ensures that the victories are earned through skill and effort rather than any other unfair means. So, by following these regulations, sports remain competitive, ethical, and enjoyable for both players and spectators. In any sport, disagreements and issues can arise regarding how the game is played. These conflicts can sometimes disrupt the flow of the competition. So, to address this, rules and regulations outline clear procedures for resolving disputes. Like, for example, if a certain dispute happens in a particular game, there are rules and regulations to clear the procedure to resolve the dispute. So, this ensures that any issues are handled fairly and efficiently, allowing the sport to continue smoothly without any unnecessary interruptions. Sports are most enjoyable when the same rules apply to everyone, regardless of their skill level or position. When all players are treated fairly, they can compete with confidence and respect the outcome of the game. This fairness ensures that every participant feels satisfied, making the game not only competitive but also enjoyable for everyone involved. At the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games, an athlete and a judge usually take the Olympic oath on behalf of all other competitors and officials. So there are two key purposes of taking this oath. One is to ensure that rules and regulations are followed throughout the game series, and the other one is that ethical behavior is upheld in sports. So when it comes to fair play in sports, it promotes important values such as developing a positive attitude towards sports and upholding ethics and integrity, preventing misconduct, doping, and violence, avoiding harm both physically and mentally to others. So, a true sportsman believes that participation is more important than winning. A great example of this was seen in the 2011 ICC Cricket World Cup match between Pakistan and West Indies. In the final ball, Pakistan needed only 4 runs to win, and the West Indian bowler noticed that the Pakistani batsman at the non-striker's end had stepped out of the crease before the ball was bowled, and instead of running him out, which would have been an easy dismissal, the bowler chose sportsmanship over victory. He warned the batsman instead, and Pakistan went on to win the match. But the bowler was highly respected by spectators and commentators for his fair play. So this example highlights why rules and regulations are crucial in sports. They ensure fair competition and also help identify true sports heroes, protect both spectators and referees, ensure accurate judgments, and prevent fraud. So beyond competition, sports rules play a significant role in personal development and contribute to a fair and ethical society.